Sante Wekono.
Hey guys, welcome back. Another ranked gameplay commentary, this time with Damba on Serpent Beach. By this point you've probably realized that I'm partial towards Damba. In my opinion, he's a really strong support. He brings a ton of healing, he's got good damage, and he's also got one of the highest HP pools for supports. Unfortunately, they're going to be nerfing him next week with the OB68 patch. His HP is going to drop down to 2200, which is a 450 HP nerf. Really unfortunate. Was it necessary? Maybe. But I liked the fact that Damba was so strong. But then again, you have to consider Damba was significantly stronger than the other supports. Granted, he did need a little bit more skill to use compared to the other supports. I'll be making a few videos with the changes on the public test server. I'll be trying out some of the obvious changes like Damba and Makoa, who have been nerfed. And I'll be checking out some of the other champions as well. Maybe Lex. So look forward to that. So I'm picking loadouts now, but I already went in depth about my Damba loadout in my last Damba video. So let's talk about the team compositions instead. So on our side we have Damba, Zin, Ruckus, Strix, and Ash. It's a strong team, a bit more aggressive since we don't have a strong tank to stay on the point, unlike the other team who has the Inara. If we look at the other team composition, they have Emoji, Genos, Drovos, Torvald, and Inara. Their team composition is looking really strong. The combination of Emoji and Torvald is a force to be reckoned with for sure, and they've got that really strong point tank in Inara. The Drogos should hopefully be able to be countered by our Strix. Unfortunately, we got a bad start here. Zin went alone on the right side, which is fine. He tried to flank. Unfortunately for him, he was met by the full force of the enemy team, who had all decided to go through that side, and he ended up getting caught out. Once he fell, Ash fell soon after, then I fell. It was a bad start. Considering our team composition, we should have been playing more aggressive, but instead of grouping up and pushing as a team, we got split up and we got picked off one by one. Now that they have control of the point, it's going to be very difficult for us to assert ourselves on there because of the presence of Inara. Here I started going left side in an attempt to take the high ground, but I saw Ruckus was getting targeted by all of them, so I went back down in an attempt to heal him, but it turned out to be in vain because he ended up falling anyways. Right there, you see a really good play from Ash in throwing down her shield. Even though she was at full health, she threw down her shield so that it would get in between Moji and me, preventing Moji from chasing me down and killing me. With the cover provided by the shield, I was able to get a good stun off, which forced Moji into retreat. Since Ash just fell there, it seems like I'm at the forwardmost position, which is a position you never want to be in as a support. You always want to be in your team's back lines. You want to be behind the front lines. You want to be next to your damage dealers. So you see I retreated from there. This is the position you want to be at, and ideally you want to have line of sight on all your teammates. Unfortunately on this map it's a lot more difficult to achieve. Moji rushes me here, and even though my position was not terrible, I still got caught off, and I even landed a stun on him, but I wasn't able to stop him without the support of my teammates. At this point the enemy team is playing really well. They're staggering us at every point while consistently getting a push on the payload. And because of the nature of our team, we're not able to get a consistent defensive pressure on the payload. Realizing this, I jump in and I ulti on the point. Since the payload was at that choke point, I managed to hit 3 of them, and it turned out to be enough for us to pick off the rest of them. Once we got them all killed off, we were able to actually establish a line, and we were able to zone them out effectively. Ashe is doing a good thing here, keeping a hold of that entranceway. However, we get flanked by the Moji on the left side. I decide to retreat, but unfortunately because of that, Ashe has ended up falling. So I see the Ruckus that's at really low health right above me, and I try to heal him twice. I'm not sure if that's a bug or what, but it seems like my heals didn't really apply, but the cooldown still got triggered. So I'm not really sure what happened there.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thanks to Moji's huge hitbox, I'm a lot more confident in throwing out my stuns. But usually before I have either Deft Hands 2 or 3, I tend not to stun as much, because it takes a long time to throw out your stuns, and that time can usually be better spent either healing or using your left click to deal more damage. And that we successfully defended the last push, we need to figure out what we did wrong in the previous attempt while capturing and try and fix it. It seems that the last time we weren't aggressive enough and we got split too much. So this time I suggested to my team, let's group up and flank left side as a team so that none of us get caught off guard by the other team.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I quickly glance at the items of the enemy team to make sure none of them have resilience. I see that Inar is the only one that has resilience right now. The others seem to have gone for Haven. So I'm more confident in being able to use my stuns and my ultimate to CC them. As soon as I see the Moji's attacks come in from my left side, I quickly dash towards my team to make sure I'm not caught out of position by the Moji. As I hear the Drogo's ulti charging up, I hope that Ashe ultimates, and she does. I see Xin low on the right side, so I quickly dash in to get a heal on him. Unfortunately missing both heals. Here, I see that Moji has used her ultimate on Ashe, and I really don't want Ashe to die, so I use my ultimate to make sure that Moji cannot get to Ashe, and we get the kill on Moji. A common beginner's trap is to constantly save your ultimate for that perfect moment. Often when I first started off, I wouldn't use my ultimate for the entire game because I would always hold on to it and I'd save it for when I can catch like 2 or 3 people grouped up. Unfortunately, it's very rare that you get such opportunities. So even if you can get 1 kill with your ultimate, it's always better to use it there, because once you get 1 kill, you're still at a 4 versus 5 advantage. So Moji engages me here, and then she pops her shield. The reason I threw my stun away quickly like that was because I didn't want my stun to go and hit her while she was in her shield. Hitting Moji in her shield can heal her up if she has the appropriate loadout card, and it'll apply one of those magic marks on me, which will let Moji do additional damage to me. So anything you can do to avoid attacking Moji's shield, you should do. When Moji jumped off the roof like that, I was sure she would fall off the map.
Enemy double kill.
As soon as I saw Ruckus shooting the wall like that, I knew we were in for a bad time. Unfortunately, for the next few minutes, Ruckus had disconnected and was replaced with a bot. So fighting 4 versus 5 is a huge disadvantage. Hopefully Ruckus will come back and we might be able to still get this game. But right now, with just 4 players, there's no way we can push the payload in. I'm doing my best here to just keep healing, throw out some poke damage when I can, and focus on keeping my tank and my teammates alive. Right here you see that I don't follow my own advice. I ended up throwing a stun into her shield. As soon as I saw the Inara charging into me along with the Moji, I ulted to make sure I would stay alive and we could get the kill on Moji.
Seconds remain. 10, 9,
I shouldn't have dived in like this. I should have just stayed with my front line
4,
and
3, 2,
prevent from giving them more credits.
overtime, hurry your butt up.
So I max Chronos here. My next item to get will probably be Deft Hands, though that's not always the case. You should always take a look at your opponent's items. If they end up getting a lot of resilience, then you're better off going for a more defensive item rather than Deft Hands, because your Deft Hands is only going to be stunning for like 0.1 seconds, and if you get maybe Haven or Blast Shield, you're going to survive more often.
Capture point spawning in 15 seconds. Five,
Yes.
4, 3, 2.
We're gonna try the same strategy to get the payload as last time. However, like, I'm looking back and I can see that Ruckus is clearly a bot. So with 4 players, we're not gonna be able to get the point like we did last time. So Inara did this thing of coming way into our backlines, flanking us hard,
Enemy double kill.
and she got a really nice double kill. It's looking grim for us. They've already killed us and established their control over the point. And like I said earlier, it's going to be very difficult as an offensive team like this to get them off the point. Our best hope now is to just mount a solid defense and maybe make it 3-3 and then go for the capture for the last round. So you can see Ashe is desperately trying to get on the point. Unfortunately, 1 versus 4, there's nothing she can do. I tried to pop a few heals on her.
Defend the payload.
Unfortunately, we ended up losing the point. So it's looking grim for us here. It looks like Ruckus is back now, however. He's playing more defensively and he's not diving directly into the enemies like bots usually do. But it's hard to say. Once again, Inara comes in behind us and gets a really nice flank on. I didn't even know she was behind me and she got me solidly in her cripple. However, fortunately for us, there was no one else with the Inara to help her out and secure the kill. So my team was able to come back, help me out. We've got a pretty good defense established here right now. I was trying to get a gourd up on top to heal the Xin. I missed, however, and it didn't work out. So far it looks like the Inara has changed her strategy a bit, and it seems like she's gonna be going a lot more aggressive on me. So I got 1 level of Deft Hands to try and counter that a little bit. So far I've noticed that Inara has just been chasing me down hard. So if I'm able to stop her a little bit with the deft hands, it might work out. So right here, if you look at the top left, you would have noticed that Ruckus just jumped down from the high ground and landed right in the middle of them. Like smack dab in the middle of the entire enemy team. That was a huge mistake. Not only did he have high ground, which he should not have given up, he gave it up to dive straight first into a group of 5 enemies. So keep in mind, you never want to do that. We do have a good control over the point right now, however. Ruckus is being more careful this time, and he's keeping the high ground. He's not jumping down. And he jumps down just as I say it. Good job, Ruckus. In any case, we managed to hold them off and defend the point. With 3-3 being the score right now, it's looking okay for us. We were able to capture the point once out of the 3 times. Of course, the other team caught it twice. One time we lost because we didn't group up and play as a team properly. The other time we lost because Ruckus was a bot and we were facing them 4 versus 5. Now that Ruckus is back and we have our full force, hopefully if we follow the strategy, we should be able to get this point.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So as he says, we go left side and we try to flank left, grouping up to make sure that none of us get caught out of position. However, once again, I got caught by Inara and I got 2 ultis thrown in my face. I managed to dodge the Genos ulti, but I got hit by the Inara ultimate. And throughout that entire encounter, they had at least 1 person standing on the point. And you can see, looking up, they're slowly climbing 69, 72, 75%, and it's not looking good for us. That wall from Inara probably secured it. And I desperately try to dive in, and you see that the Ashe charges in at the last second, but it's too little too late, and we end up losing this one. I made a huge mistake at the end of not being aware of the Inara's position. I knew that she had flanked me the last time, so I should have been aware of it this time, and I should have been checking my back to make sure this Inara is not coming back and flanking me. That was my mistake, and that may have cost us the game. So remember, if you get caught out by a change in tactics by the enemies, make sure you always adapt to the situation and follow through on that. Looking at the scores, I'm not very satisfied with it. Only 120k healing and 7 deaths. That's not very good. Probably the biggest mistake I made was not adapting to Inara's change in strategy in coming and focusing me down. If I had handled that better, maybe we would have come out of that on top. In any case, I hope you'll enjoy it. Bye.